Hey, it's Mick Liubinskas from Climate Salad here, and I'm chatting to Angus from Actuary. Hey, Angus, how you going?
Yeah, good, Mick. How you doing?
Great. Now, you just came through the Start Mate program and going from strength to strength. Can you give me the quick elevator pitch for everyone here of what Agtuary does?
Yeah, so at Actuary, we're using climate and satellite data to look at farm production on the largest timescales possible. So, using historical satellite and weather data to view production and how the land has changed over the past 10 or 20 years. And then looking at, the latest in climate science to be able to look at how, changes in rainfall, temperature might affect farmland, in the next 10, 20, and 30 years from now. So really helping to drive putting together these data sets to drive investment and lending decision making around the farm, whether that's from an agribusiness bank that's trying to evaluate its portfolio at a macro scale, or for the farmer that's maybe looking to purchase new land that wants to do due diligence and understand how this land might be affected by the climate over the next couple of decades.
Well, mate, and this is one of the areas which I think people who are not in it don't recognize its size and importance. Can you give us a sense of, how big is it and what's at stake here in terms of making sure this works well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the size, I would say the size of the industry in Australia alone, it's about 60 billion in terms of production value. The debt value is around 70 to 75 billion. Globally, you get figures in the range of 3.5 trillion to $5 trillion. And at the end of the day, this is our food. Without it, without it, we don't have the human race. So it's really, really
Well,
critical that
that
we.
little chestnut, yeah.
Yeah. I tend to like humans. Not everybody does,
Not
but
all of
I
them,
definitely.
but a lot of them, yeah. I'm
Like
with
I'm,
you.
I'm definitely a fan of human societies and human culture. So, but I'm really interested in ensuring that we have the longest term survival prospects. And food is absolutely fundamental to that.
Wow, yeah, and so it's they often say in murder mysteries, follow the money, but I guess that's what you're trying to do, which is if you can optimize the money flows and optimize the farming, then we can have better food outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, sustainable practice and profitability go hand in hand when it comes to farming.
Mm.
But the fundamental issue that we're facing at the moment is that there's a gap in the understanding of between when it comes to financing, whether it's debt or equity investments into farmland, and the sustainable outcomes themselves as well. And so if you want to incentivize, that kind of practice that will be beneficial both for the farmer's business, but also for the environment, then there's a whole lot of data and understanding that we need to make that's outside of just the bottom line, and that's what we're working on at Actuary.
Oh, fantastic. It was really interesting when we were chatting before about one of the big value points you got out of StartMate was just good goal setting.
Yep.
It as you said, like I'm like, I know how to set a goal. You just set a goal, right? But it's actually I know that Michael Backer leads the way here in terms of just being brilliantly operational. But in terms of a lesson for other climate tech co-founders who may not have had the luck to go through StartMate, can you give us a little snapshot of that, of like, how did it manifest and what was the end result?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like you said, it's not so much learning about the importance of goals, because I think you should know that. Everyone should know that, but it was really about just being in the position and having to form the habit around the goal setting, and particularly around reporting against your progress against those goals. I can immediately see a difference, between the last quarter that we're going through the program and this quarter that we've just started, even in just how we formulate and think about our goals. It's the question that sticks in my head is are there are your outcomes, I guess it's not stuck in my head so well at the moment. But it's like, are your actions that you're taking on a daily basis, are they taking you closer towards each of the outcomes that that you desire for the business.
Yep.
And so it's really keeping that question in mind when formulating say your key results, or but also your goals as well, for over the quarter. I can almost sit down and look at all of the key results and just choose something to do for the day and know that it's going to make a meaningful contribution towards the outcomes that we want.
Yeah, that the habit is a great way to think about it. Mate, congratulations. I know you just closed a capital round as well, and got lots of good global opportunities to keep growing. So well done on the progress. And so it's just, what's the URL for people who want to find out more?
Yeah, so it's agtuary.com. So
Yeah.
it's agtuary.com.
Yeah.
And yeah, feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure my email's just in my bio. So feel free to reach out as well.
Nice.
We're really interested in chatting to anyone from the ag sector, everybody from, farmers, advisors, and people who work at banks or asset management firms.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And look, I'm looking forward to at some point next year when you really hit growth, a rom-com called Love Actuary. So I think that would go really well. People meeting on a farm, that could just work brilliantly, mate. So I'll add that to your OKRs if that's okay.
No, we'll definitely have to add that. It'll be an accountant meets farmer rom-com, I think.
Isn't that a TV show? Anyway, Angus, thanks so much for sharing, mate, and best of luck.
All right, thanks, Mick.